everyone. Hi. Welcome to Saturday Noon Live with Tara. Great to have you all here on Facebook, on Insta, YouTube, and on Insta. Thank you for joining. Lovely to have you all here. And looking forward to chatting. As you guys know, we go live with three people randomly selected across all of Instagram. So if anyone wants to join the live, please send in your requests. And it's a Saturday. I'm sure you're all busy doing lots of things, but as always, did not want to miss saying hi and touching base. So, who are we going to go live with, and what would you like to discuss? As you know, this is an interactive show. It's an organically created show, which is as much mine as yours. I literally, you guys give me the topics, you tell me what you'd like to talk about, unless, of course, there's a guest that we're talking to. So let me know what you'd like to discuss. Uh, मैम लिसन मार्केट इतना स्लो क्यों है मार्केट एक्चुअली अभी तो सेंसेक्स काफी अच्छी चल रही है इट्स गोइंग रियली वेल इनफैक्ट आई डू इन्वेस्ट अ बिट एंड it's been actually on a very sort of high streak, so I'm not sure if you're referring to that market or what market. Saya Khosla ka Ghosla Dishan says, and I hope all our investments keep growing, touch wood. I'm not a very, like, I'm not a pro at all. I'm learning as I go along, but I think in life that's what one does. You learn every step of the way. Chetan, hi. Chetan says always wait for these sessions. Good afternoon, Tara ma'am. Hope you're doing well. We're fine, touch wood. I hope you are too. Always a pleasure to have you here too, and all of you. It's really lovely. So let's get going today. Let's start. Zen, our older son, is at an inter-school MUN, Model United Nations. So something he started enjoying doing, and I'm really happy that school encourages things like this. In fact, when I was in school, my batch was the first one in our school to go for the Harvard Model United Nations. So I actually went to Harvard for the MUN, and but I don't remember much. And frankly, I mean, I loved it. I definitely remember that. But in our home, the joke is that I'm the least knowledgeable about worldly matters and politics and stuff compared to the other three. So Rupak is the one, the go-to one for these kind of discussions. Uh, tell me in your home if you've got grown-up kids like this or growing kids, teenage and tween. Yeah, it's all very much quite an experience. Um, Roshan says literacy in India. According to you, how much is the literacy of women important for the development of a child? So Roshan, I'm a big believer, as everyone is, I'm sure, obviously, in equality and equal opportunities. I've always said that, getting the gender scales to be balanced when it comes to opportunities, education, all these things are so important. There's still a long way to go to get there. But after that, what people choose to do, I genuinely believe, is their own choice. So literacy is very important, but what if one chooses to be like a working person or not, or do something else, or be a full-time parent? I think those are choices that actually are a proof of equality. So yes, I definitely think literacy is important. I think now in the new world, one of the very encouraging things is literacy and education, just like reading, is not necessarily only in the conventional way that we knew. So it's not just about textbooks. It's not just about reading. Is not no longer just about picking up lots of books. Of course, that's an amazing thing and ideal, but I think for most of us who are parents, we know that in this generation, kids really don't read as much. I am guilty as charged of not being much of a reader. So I was very happy when the principal of our children's school one day said, reading is also what you read, whether it's on social media, on articles, in magazines, of course, physical books, of course, that will always be extremely special. But don't negate the fact that reading in general is a very big part of education. The platform you read it on is not always um, the same as it was before. So, yeah, Roshan, sorry for that roundabout answer, but I'd love to talk about that more if you'd like to share your views. Are you a vegan? Anisha is asking. No, I'm not. Actually, I eat everything in moderation. I'm a believer in balance. My husband Rupak has turned vegan, so we're learning more and more about it. Um, uh, Dishan says, Dishan is asking me, Madam Ji, how do you feel Modi Ji is doing for Bharat? Is it good or the opposition? You support someone? How do you feel about Mamta and Kejriwal? So honestly, I don't want to use this platform for anything political. I think those are views that we all do have. We all have beliefs and views. I would just say that for me, it's about the good of India, the good of Bharat, India. I think we need to focus more on that than individuals and politics. Just like in any situation, even with our own building committee, sometimes there are all these fights in the meetings, and I'm like, but what is the intention? The intention is the good of the building. If people are working towards the good of the building, I know it's an ideal thought, but actually, why does politics have to come into it? We really need to think of what the ultimate goal is and work towards that. And frankly, the more synergies and the more cooperation and the more diplomacy with working together, the better the result for the country, or whatever the entity. And I know that that sounds very idealistic, but I am somebody who truly believes in good relationships, and that stems in all parts of my life. And I wish that could be the case when it comes to uh, running countries as well. Maybe one day I'll get more involved, and then I would share my views more on this. um, Hira, hi. Hira says, true. I read on social media or the internet always more these days. Yeah, so don't think you're not reading and being educated, because there is this reverse snobbery, right? That the literati, and I come from a family of books. My dad was an author. I adore, obviously, my parents, my family. I was always the non reader in that sense. But frankly, now I find, because I'm so on social media, very often I'm very clued up about current affairs and all, frankly, often more than my friends. And sometimes Rupak will tell me something and say, did you know? And I was like, yeah, I read that long ago. And I realized that I'm reading, but the platform is different. So sometimes our kids, we shouldn't give them so much flack, because I find, like Zen, for example, doing these MUNs, he's writing it all himself. He's doing all this research and writing papers on diplomacy and world affairs, and it's all through what he's seeing and reading on the internet. So we may not be sitting with physical books in the same way, but that's of course a whole nother joy. Again, never to diss that has a huge and special place as well, and I do wish our kids would read more. uh, Affiliate says, you are so beautiful, that's so kind of you. Agree. Hira says, agree. That is so kind of you. That is so sweet. Rizu says, I'm from Indonesia. Wasim says, love from Kashmir. Wow, we have people from all over. This is so special. I love these chats. Agree, the good of the country. Sorry, Hira, your comment ran away. I was trying to find it. If you want to just say that again, because I can't find that comment. Um, uh, Lots of love to you. Bharadwaj says, great to have you all here. Okay, so who are we going to go live with today? Let's see who we're going to go live with. Okay, let's go live with Hira, my dear friend Hira, who has a wonderful podcast. Please check it out, guys. And let's see if she's able to join. Sometimes people aren't able to join, but I hope she is. Let's see if it works. Also, are you able to see this on YouTube? Because I'm not able to find if there are comments. Usually there are. So I hope I haven't put this on private. Sometimes I do by mistake. So please let me know if it is working on YouTube. Please send me some indication. Anyone on YouTube, please let me know if it's working. Uh, Chetan says, I join always, but won't today want to let one other person have the chance as it's only three people. That's very kind of you, sweet of you. Thank you. Please, guys, anyone, please join my YouTube, Tara Sharma Show, and let me know if it's working because sometimes it doesn't work. And just wanted to know if it is. Urja, let's see if we can go live with you. Hi, Salim. Hi, Suresh. Hira, you can't join. Why is that? I don't know why. I tried to invite you, but it didn't let me. Let me try again. Um, no, it's not. For some reason, it's not going. Why is that? I'd love to have you on. Hi. Hi, Hira. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good. Great to have you here. And how are you? What's happening? What's the latest?
All good, all good. As usual, going on, keeping on writing, keeping on. People are interviewing me. I'm very happy these days.
Very
So,
good.
there's not a
Excellent.
lot of interviews these days. I don't know why people think I'm such a wonderful topic to be interviewed.
No, but it's amazing. So tell us a little bit about your podcast.
So, my podcast is called Revive Life in 1.5 minutes. So, I just talk about one topic about how we can sort of better ourselves and things that we forget about in our normal routine. So I just pick up topics to sort of remind you that you could do this too.
Excellent, amazing. And Hira is a wonderful example of reinvention, right? So she had a banking career, and then when she retired, she's done so many different things. So it very much, she's a total example of age is just a number, right? So, Hira, is there anything you'd like to say to people here on the live? Any like tips or anything that any life lesson?
So I always say to people, and that's something I always say to people, that please don't wait for retirement to do anything. Start doing it now. Start doing it while you're working, while you're young. Keep honing hobbies because you never know what will come useful to you when you are sitting back and thinking, what should I do now? And that happened to me also. So when I retired, I found suddenly a very big vacuum. People thought, oh, you do something, this, that, and the other. It doesn't happen. You really need to have some hobbies or things on your plate which will make you do more as you go along.
Wonderful advice, excellent. Because I think I've in fact been, sort of reading up a lot and analyzing this whole thing of uh, being, I want multifaceted, like doing lots of different things, multi potentialists. People who have lots of different interests and abilities, and sometimes you wonder, jack of all trades, master of none. But as you rightly say, you never know when you're going to use what. And most of these things you start young, because when you're much older, it's kind of often harder to start something. Having said that, it's never too old to start. I remember my dad, of course, he was always known for his voice, but it was much later in life when he had emphysema and he was on oxygen. He actually started doing Indian classical music singing classes, so something completely different that he only started in his 60s, and he actually made some albums and stuff. So you never know, but it's wonderful to keep
And I'm
reinventing.
honored to have met him.
I know.
I'm honored to have met once as a kid. I mean, actually as a kid.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that memory has never gone of him sitting on his desk.
I remember
And
you said.
yes, you need, and if you love somebody, another thing I love to say is that if you admire somebody or if you like somebody's work, then please go ahead and appreciate it, applaud it. I like the thought of appreciating others' work because from them there's so much to learn.
Absolutely.
You just have to keep learning, basically.
Absolutely. And in fact, Daddy, in one of his videos when he was very unwell and dying, in fact, I have that video where he spoke about, always compliment and look for the good things, because it's very easy to find the and look at the criticisms. And, so it's good, of course, to be objective and criticize as well. But it's really nice and important to also encourage people and celebrate the good stuff. So thank you, Hira. Thanks for joining. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Lots of love.
Lots of love. Bye. Bye. Thank you. That was Hira. And on YouTube, Chetan is saying it's working, ma'am. Perfectly. Great to hear that. Rushikesh is saying, sister, why don't you go in Big Boss? We would love to see you in Big Boss. It's a very good big show, Big Boss. Many celebrities come in, and I would love to see you in Big Boss. I am so not a Big Boss candidate. I can't even stay away from my kids for a few days. How will I stay for so many in a house which is so public? No, no, no. I'm actually a very private person. And while, of course, I applaud people who have the courage and do it, I think each to their own with what they're comfortable with and what their you know what their forte is. I don't think I'm a big boss type candidate, but thank you for thinking of me. So again, lots of lovely people here on the live, and lots of great questions. Thank you guys, as always, for sending so much encouragement. It's truly a pleasure. Tara Prithvi says your role in Maharathi movie was phenomenal. The sweet innocent nurse role was extremely well portrayed by you. Thank you, Prithvi. Thank you so much. Hi, how are you? हेलो, आवाज नहीं आ रहा है. Hello? Oh, that got cut. Chetan is saying, ma'am, please share some thoughts on how to have a positive outlook towards things. Always, it has become very rare these days. Chetan, that's very sweet that you're asking me, because I do believe in being optimistic and being positive and happy. I do think it helps in life. Although, of course, one cannot say one is always positive and optimistic, but I think more often than not, if you try and look at the glass half full in any situation, I think that really helps. So that my simple advice would be, look for the good. As my dad used to say, it's easy to find the bad things in something, but try and look for the good. And sometimes I'll be honest, sometimes some of my closest friends think I'm too optimistic. I'll always like, say for example, if I don't know, if something happens in school, and I don't know, for whatever reason, if the kids do something and it's not considered that great, I'll still try and look for, okay, but you know what, this was a good part of it, or this was a. So I tend to do that sometimes, maybe a bit too much, but I just think in life, if you look for the good, you'll find the good. And of course, you learn lessons from the good and the bad, but try and find the good. So, even now when our kids are playing competitive sport, you win some, you lose some, you win some, but you always learn. So look for the good things, that's my only little tip. And also, if you are having a bad day and you're not feeling so great, it's okay. It's part of life, and you don't always have to be all smiley. So yeah, I think that would be what I would say, Chetan. But thank you as always. Your role in Maharathi was the sweet innocent role was phenomenally done. Would love to connect. Thank you, Prithvi. That's so kind of you. That's really sweet. People often forget Maharathi, you see, because it came out at a difficult time. We had just had those terrible attacks at the terrorist attacks in Bombay, and the cinemas, no one was going to cinemas, of course. So the film had a very quiet opening, but it actually did very, people really liked it. Chetan says these days, like our generation and the younger ones after us, are so affected by social media and external things that they have unrealistic expectations from everything. Yeah, I think it's really important to understand that social media is a platform, right? Um, it's software. There are algorithms that make it function in a certain way, make you see certain things, not see certain things. These are all algorithms. So while I think it is in some ways wonderful, like it enables us to interact like this, for example, don't take it all too seriously. I would sincerely say to young people, there's a reason that they're not encouraged to come on social media too young, because you need to be mature enough to handle it. There's good comments, not good comments, great comments, terrible comments. You need to be mature enough, and that comes with life experience, education, age. So, once again, the importance of education for anyone who's watching. By the way, happy Padyushan. That is the cool Gymholic is saying, and happy Mahavir Jamnati. Same to you. Mihir is saying, not only beautiful, but you are having gorgeous smile and beautiful nature. Thank you so much. Your voice is the sweetest in the world, ma'am. I am Mihir, your huge fan in the world. Will you make heart and flying kiss for me? Thank you. That's very sweet. Um, Didi, I want to take a selfie with you. It would be my dream when you next come to Alibag. Rishikesh is saying, Thank you guys. It's always a pleasure. So now I'm going to go live with one last person, and then I'm going to say, have a fabulous rest of day. Let's go live with a very funny person, a very funny account. It says Akshay Khanna. Akshay was a very dear friend of mine right from childhood, and we actually even dated for a while, and we continue to be friends. He's a good friend of Rupak as well. And so I'm very curious to know whose handle this is actually, because Akshay is the most private person and he would definitely not be on social media, I know. And he would not accept coming on to a live chat. So I'm very curious to know the person who has the handle Akshay Khanna. Who is this? Chetan says, by the way, like there were so many timeless actresses in the Hey Baby title track, but you were the best. That's so sweet of you, Chetan. You're really genuinely very sweet. I think everyone is amazing. So yeah, so Akshay, you are asking to get onto my live, and I know it's not obviously the real you, but I'm very curious to know who has your handle. So let's see. I've said yes. So you sent a request. Let's see if it happens. Mihir says, ma'am, the flying kiss is pending. You know, your sweet flying kiss provides positivity and energy like yoga to everyone. Okay, I don't think Akshay is accepting. Okay, I think now Akshay has left the live. If it's the real Akshay, that would be very funny. Anyone who knows him will understand the joke. Um, let's now, last person we're going to go live with. Urja, let's see if we can go live with you. And then I'll let you guys get on with your day. Thank you guys for all your lovely comments on all our platforms. You know, like I said, these are algorithms, right? So sometimes, even on our lives, there aren't many people. Sometimes there's very few, sometimes there's really a lot. It doesn't discourage me or make me think either way. I just do it for how many ever there are, because that to me is the, is the purpose, to add value, to interact, how many ever, Imtiaz is saying, good morning from South Africa. You look nice and fresh today. Thank you. What do you think of Jawan? I thought Shah Rukh was fabulous. I am sure he is amazing. I'm a huge Shah Rukh fan. I have not yet watched it, but I definitely will. You may know that I did an ad with Shah Rukh way back for Pepsi. And yeah, he's a great guy. Zain Taspa says, was a fan of your dad and his wonder dog Ranjha. Zain, that's so great to hear. And you will be very happy to know. Just yesterday, I was interacting with Rupa Publications, who published Dog Detective Ranjha. And stock. It's available on Amazon. I will share the link soon. There's also a video that Daddy was so ahead of his times. Pratap Sharma, spelled Partap, for those of you wondering. Daddy wrote a book on our dog Ranjha, who he had trained to be a detective dog. He actually helped solve mysteries, and Zain has just brought it up. And Daddy made this video of one of the stories called "The Case of the Hidden Earring." It's on the Tara Sharma Show YouTube channel. Please check it out. I'm there as a little girl, and it's for me, of course, it's heartbreaking that Daddy passed away, but I really believe he's always with us, and legacy lives forever. And when people bring it up like this, it makes me so much believe that Daddy's with us. So thank you, Zain, for saying that. um, Mihir says, ma'am, I'm watching your live with dual angle in Instagram and on YouTube both, and you're looking absolutely gorgeous. That's so sweet. Zain again says, amazing Pratap Sharma and his voice. Absolutely. Daddy's voice, he was known as the golden voice of India. There are so many articles about how Daddy changed the whole landscape of voiceovering, making it really a truly respected and well paid profession. And as a child, I remember there would be several producers, filmmakers, advertising people waiting outside Daddy's studio to record, to the point that he actually had his own studio. So he wouldn't be like moving around Bombay, moving from studio to studio. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't feel Daddy's presence. So for anyone who's lost a loved one, they really do. They stay with us. I really believe that. Thank you, Zain, for bringing Daddy into the conversation. Dog Detective Ranja, Prithvi says Tinkle. Yes, absolutely. Daddy's book, Dog Detective Ranja, was also in Tinkle Comics. And in fact, Rupak, my husband, the first time he came for dinner and met mom and dad, we were talking and I mentioned Ranja. And he said, yeah, there were those comics and there was that guy with those blue pants and white shirt. Oh my God, that's you, to my dad. So, yes, Ranja was very much in Tinkle Comics. And as I said, Rupa Publication says it's all in stock. So, I will share a post soon promoting and telling you how to get a copy. Which was your last movie? Rajesh is asking. Last movie that I've that was released is Kadak, which released a few years ago, directed by Rajat Kapoor. Then I did a tiny short film called Shame, which was directed by Anusha Bose, and now I'm just going to be in The Archies, directed by Zoya Akhtar. Small role, not Betty, not Veronica, but the mother. So that'll be on Netflix from December 7th. Thank you, Zain, once again for your very kind words. And so, on that note, guys, I wasn't able to go live. Let's see if I can go live with you, Zain. Would you like to come on to the live? Don't worry if you're in a position that you don't want to suddenly be into a live. That's okay. I understand. Sugam says very nice. Edison says hi. Hi, Zain. I can't hear you. Hi. I think the network is low because I'm not able to see you, Zain. But thank you for bringing up Daddy and Dog Detective Ranja and his voice, and lots of plays and books by Dad, Sammy, the Zen Katha, Bodhi Dharma, Begum Samru. See, Daddy, everyone remembers you so fondly always. Even Hira spoke about you. Um, Zizu, is that you? Zizu, if it's you, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday. Hi, Vivek. Okay, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you go. Let me let me say bye, everyone. Thank you for joining. Fabulous to have you all here. My mother has also written an amazing book called 100 Days of Overland Travel. My mother's English. She came out to India for the first time in the late 60s. She was not a hippie, but she came overland. They drove from London all the way to Bombay. It's a fascinating story. We're going to have that published soon. My sister had it limited edition published for like the family, and now I'm going to bring it out for all of you to read too. So lots of exciting stuff. Would have loved to see him as Nehru in Attenborough's Gandhi. Zain, do you know that Daddy played the role of Nehru in a film called Nehru, which actually also had Tanuja ji and people in it. So it's interesting that you would say that. I tried to add you on the live, but I don't think you were able to accept. But thank you once again for being here and talking about Dad so kindly. Hi, Anchal, from all platforms, Insta and Facebook, and on YouTube too. And Zain, another thing that makes me know Daddy's always with us is our kids. Unbelievably, there's genes. I realize because Daddy physically met the kids for a short period of time. Daddy passed away when Zen was only 2.5 and Kai was just 6 months. But a few weeks ago, both the kids were on stage for their school performance, and I was just struck by how much of Daddy I saw in them. You know, there's a natural acting ability, touch wood, and they won't ever acknowledge that I share that passion too. But I think suddenly, especially with the older one who really is very and younger one obsessed with his football, and also often I am able to catch glimpses of Daddy. So it's interesting how genes yeah, really do come through the years. So on that note, guys, have a fabulous day. Thanks for joining. Ta-ra, ta-ra, ta-ra. Hi, Girish. Sincere request to have mother in the live session someday so that we can all say namaste. Good idea. Good idea, Chetan. Yes, it is totally true. I can feel my mother is always, especially in the house. It feels kind of real sometimes. Absolutely. How does one stay grounded and true to yourself and keep away from all the distractions these days? I think surround yourselves by people who you love and who love you. And I think that'll always help you stay grounded. I think life in itself is humbling, because I think for all of us, some things go well, some things don't go well, some things go well again. So I think I don't know anybody who can sustain being arrogant, because deep down there must be insecurities, because life is just like that, right? For nobody is it just one smooth ride, right? So I do think that just humility and being humble should be the default. um, so that's how I would say one stays grounded. But again, each to their own. Every person is so different. So, on that note, guys, thank you so much for joining. Sorry, I ramble and ramble and ramble, but I do love chatting and I love all your questions and interactions. Thanks for joining. Ta-ra, ta-ra, ta-ra. Have a great day. Next project, Girish, is the Archies, which will release December 7th on Netflix. Small role. Check it out. Ta-ra, ta-ra. Bye, guys.